So I'm Giovanni. I wish I was that wealthy and that important. I'm the co-founder and head of product of Astropad. And just raise of hands, has anybody heard about the product, used it? Great. For everybody else, I would like to play the promotional video that we have on our website. That's pretty much what you would see if, as a first-time users, would try to approach the product and be interested in it. So I think it'd be a good intro to get everybody on the same page.
What becomes possible when you pair the power of Mac with the precision of Apple Pencil? That's what we've done with Astropad. We've created a new way to work that turns the iPad Pro into a drawing tablet for Mac. A way to work made for artists that is better, faster, and works with any Mac app, including Adobe Photoshop. Built for the full power of iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, it offers uncompromised image quality with virtually no lag. And with support for wireless or USB, it offers total creative freedom, because not every idea arrives behind a desk. Astropad, the easiest way to turn your iPad Pro into a professional drawing tablet.
All right, that was the sales pitch. Who has used graphic tablets before and Wacom tablets? Anybody? These have been around for decades now. You're probably familiar with the black slate tablets. Those are fairly cheap. If you go very high-end, you find the pen displays. These are screens that you plug into your PC or Mac. They allow you to draw directly into desktop-class software like Photoshop, 3D apps. If you walk into Walt Disney or Pixar, that's what you're going to find. They come at a very expensive price. This one in the picture is $3,000. But they're really great. They let you basically draw directly with the stylus on top of professional software. So the mission with Astropad was to provide the same professional experience at a fraction of the price. And we do that by joining forces of the devices we have and most designers have already. And we pair that with a pressure-sensitive stylus like the Apple Pencil. The Mac screen is mirrored directly into the iPad, so that then you can directly draw right into Photoshop, Illustrator, or any other app. And we work both over USB and wireless. So you can be on your couch, and you can be sketching in Photoshop. So that's sort of what Astropad is about. For my presentation today, I want to tell you about three things. I want to tell you about the story of how we build the product and the company, and then some insight that I've, over the course of my career, I've been putting together about creativity. And then I want to take a look at how does sort of luck play into the whole process of creating a company and a successful product. So three things: the story, my secret about creativity, and how do you find a good product idea, and the relationship between success and luck. And I will be trying to answer the question, is it more important to be lucky or good? And watch out for the clover in my presentation. I'll be pointing out the moments of luck that we had along the way and along the journey. So let's start with the story. You see here an evolution of our branding identity over time. It actually tracks pretty well our company mission and what we were doing in each single year. Every story starts with some actors. This is me and my co-founder Matt. We are both software engineers, but we also share a sort of creative soul. He's a photographer, and I've always been a painter. We also have some good skills, complementary skills that will reveal to be pretty good in building a company. He always had a very strong business leadership and sort of vision. And I've always been a product person. We met at Apple 10 years ago. We were both interns We lived together in the same house. At the time, Apple had corporate housing, so interns would be sort of sharing the same space. And Matt and I shared the same apartment for 3 months. And then we split ways at the end of the internship, and we didn't talk for basically 7 years. Matt and myself got both offered jobs at Apple, but he decided to stay in Minneapolis. He basically settled down there and first worked for a startup that later was acquired by VMware, and then later on worked for Garmin on aviation software. I moved from Italy to San Francisco and joined Apple, and I was there for 4 years until I pretty much got burned out. This is the slide where I should have had the apple upside down like Allison had. I think it would have been a pretty good one. But at this point, the two of us hadn't really talked, and we hadn't really had any contact really since the internship days. And then through Twitter, just one day, we start a conversation. I basically replied to one of his tweets pretty randomly. And we find out that we're both sort of out from the corporate game, and we're both looking for freelance jobs. And Matt actually scores a pretty big project, and I start working for him on, and so we kind of join forces to work on a sort of iOS app for a big client. This is a significant moment sort of in my life because I'm coming from a pretty bad state. I went through burnout, depression. I think some of you may have experienced it. You're kind of lost, and you're trying to find your creativity back. And that was where I was back then. We decided to join forces and build up a consultancy shop together, which we called Astro HQ. All through this time, we are actually working remotely. He's in Minneapolis, I'm in San Francisco. So we set up a development shop for iOS apps. But the idea all along was to really build some amazing products together. We both have been in the consumer space for quite some time, and we really love consumer products. But the consulting shop was really a good way to pay the bills and make our life sustainable. Our dream all along was to basically build a consulting shop until we could bootstrap our own product and have the product be the source of our income going forward. What product, though? At the time, we really had no idea what we wanted to build. We constantly were looking for ideas, but we didn't really have any clarity on a specific subject. What we did know, though, was our values. And our values kind of shine through our brand from the very beginning. Our Astro dog is actually an inspiration on the dog cow by Susan Kerr of the original Mac team. And we really liked the original sort of mission that the Mac team had of turning the computing device into a bicycle for your mind. Unfortunately, we kind of felt like things that the direction of where technology was going was quite different. I took this screenshot just a week before launching Astropad. This is top apps on iPad. I don't see really a bicycle for your mind here. It's mostly mindless entertainment. So although we didn't know what product we wanted to build, we had pretty clear our goals and our mission. And we really wanted to build professional tools and not gadgets. So then if we go back to our timeline, we set up the shop, and we are mostly consulting and just looking really for a good idea to come through. I usually end my days by working out. So one day, I went on a run, and this is what I saw. On my way back, I ran into the Microsoft new Surface. I really like what I was seeing. It's showing Photoshop running in a tablet-like device. There's a stylus next to it. It's been used to annotate Photoshop, the Photoshop document. I really, really liked it. It was the first time I wanted to buy a Microsoft product. It's pretty scary to think about it. So right away, I started thinking how I could make this happen on the devices I love. always been an Apple fanboy myself. And just in case you think I'm making this up, that's actually me in my not so flattering running gear. And I'm taking that picture because I know in this moment something is going to change for us. I know that there's potential for a great idea here. So this kind of leads me into some more philosophical thoughts about creativity and what's a good recipe for finding good product ideas. I think I want to lead with some quotes that I've been collecting over the years, and they've been quite helpful in understanding my own creativity process. First one by Picasso. He's talking about, and a journalist actually asked him whether inspiration exists. And his answer to that was, yes, it does exist, but it has to find you working. Kind of meaning that sitting around looking for an idea just doesn't work. In a totally unrelated field to arts, Richard Feynman, the famous physicist, he gives credit to his job as a teacher, as a professor at the university, to be one of his main reason of success in his career and of his creative ideas. What he's basically talking here is his teaching career enabled him to make space for ideas to come by basically shutting it down, that existential dread that we all have when we're trying to have good ideas. So that led me to sort of a conclusion also on how does creativity happens and how to have good ideas in the first place. And I realized that in different phases in my life, whenever I was looking for really hard for an idea, that never really actually worked out. And it was more in the moment of calmness, when I was calm and it was relaxed, and I really didn't need an idea, that the good ideas would come through. So I would say the four recipes or steps for me where you really don't need, you shouldn't be needing really an idea in the first place to live well. Have some sort of purpose every day that you're somewhat happy about. And be curious about the world around you. And I think if you're in this state of mind, then I do believe that good ideas will come. And for Matt and myself, I think the everyday purpose was to run in the consulting shop. It wasn't absolutely amazing work we were doing all the time, but it was letting us explore other possibilities without the pressure of finding that really great idea. So now, back to the story of Astropad. We are here looking at the advertisement of the Microsoft Surface. And I talked to Matt right away. And it's the first time in a while that we're actually really passionate about an idea together. And the first question that we ask ourselves is, why has this not been done before? It sounds such a really good idea. And the iPad had been out for many years at that point. And we quickly realized that it's actually really hard to do. In fact, much later on, we realized that many companies had tried and failed. What Astropad really is basically a wireless display. And if you go to Best Buy or in a big electronics store, you're not really going to find wireless TVs or wireless monitors. We're really fighting some physics here. The first problem that we're facing is sort of the lag. And if we compare sort of what Astropad does to, say, a Skype call or FaceTime, and generally in conversation over the phone, you notice a delay in the conversation that you're having if that delay goes beyond 150 milliseconds. But when you're drawing, we're really talking at a much shorter latency and lag that you would be expecting. That's basically a magnitude difference, 16 milliseconds. So a Skype-like technology really wouldn't work for Astropad. The other important thing is the display quality. If we were to use video conferences sort of like solutions for video, this wouldn't really work. Most of the time you see blocky content, just the quality isn't there. what we want is a very sharp display that is color calibrated, specifically designed for artists. So we basically had to build it from scratch. This new technology we call Liquid. It's basically a combination of a new networking technology to really minimize the latency between the communication of the two devices. And on top of that, we built a new video format and a new image processing system. So the combination of this sort of very low network technology and this high fidelity video codec makes our product possible. It took us 16 months to build it. This is sort of the GitHub repo and the sort of flow of commits that went through along that period of time. We can take a look at the sort of three phases in building of the product. At the beginning, we were really evaluating whether we can do and build the technology to make Astropad possible. This is an early prototype. We were working a lot of nights. This is shot in my apartment in San Francisco. It was late at night. At the time, I think the video technology that we have is only grayscale, and that's the reason why you see a black and white image. I was putting together a demo for some sort of early feedback. The first validation that we have on the product is through some mutual friends, some of my friends at Pixar, actually. And I asked to talk to some of the artists. So we go on site, and we're about 8 months in, and that's the first time that we sort of show it to some serious pros. That's who we want to target Astropad to. And they find a lot of problems with what we're doing. However, they're also very encouraging. And I remember very clearly one of them looking at the product and saying something along the lines of, Astropad could really become something really big. And what they were excited was we were giving the possibility of digital art creation in a super professional way with the tools that a 16, 17 years old could have in high school. And that was really exciting for them. So the sort of second phase in our journey is from the prototype, we really need to build a viable product for the market. And then I think Luisa was saying that earlier, that the last 10% is really one of the sort of hardest phase in any project. I think I found this to be true in every project I've worked with. It's hard to understand that spike unless you've lived it, but we were pretty burned out at that point. Along the ways, along sort of the past, well, the 2 months leading to the launch, we also get some beta testers involved to sort of verify that what we're building actually works. And I want to share with you the first promotional video that we did for this early pool of beta testers. We are 2 months away from launch day. And Matt first records the video, but he doesn't know how to draw. So it's not very compelling. So what I do is I take my iPhone and somehow I stick it to the ceiling, and it's looking down on the table. And I'm basically playing Matt, or just the gesture of a mimo, on while he's talking. And then I stick the audio together. So it's totally a homebrewed. Enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'm one of the developers behind Astropad, a new creative tool that works with your Mac. Astropad runs on both your Mac and your iPad, and it allows you to use desktop software like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or any other graphics program you like to use with the touch capabilities of your iPad. So let me give you a quick demo of that. For today, I've got a pressure-sensitive pen, and watch as I draw in Photoshop here how fast and fluid it is, as it shows up both on my iPad and on my Mac. So that's not all though. Let me show you another example for fun. Let's go over here to the Mona Lisa, and you can see how I can pan, I can zoom, I can interact in a number of different ways. So for fun, let's draw a little mustache on her. But what's even cooler is we have built-in tools. So I can press this button here, and we've got a whole suite of tools that are customizable. So let's say I'm not happy with that mustache. I can undo it or redo it. And these are completely configurable, and you can set them however you like. Finally, we run both in a wireless configuration, as you can see here, and we also work wired, so you can plug in your USB cable if you don't have good Wi-Fi or you're on the run. So that's a quick demo. Please let us know what you think of the Astropad and if it would be helpful for your creative workflow. Thank you.
We've come a long way. This is pretty scary, actually, to look at it, because 2 months from that point on, we need to launch the product, and we only build the technology behind it. The product is not there. The UI, you could see, it's pretty much prototype UI. But we need to get some people living on this tool to verify that it actually works on a variety of configurations. So yeah, and finally we launched the product after a lot of nights. It goes really well, though. We got covered on a lot of media, amazing traffic on our website. It's a really successful launch. But it doesn't end there. What happens afterwards? That's probably the most interesting thing. Let's take a look at sales. This is sort of the first month and a half. Because of our successful launch, we actually managed to make enough money to potentially run for 3 months without any sort of income. So we stopped the consulting, which we've been doing up until that point, and we go full time on it. And we really want to live the dream at this point. We'll trust that things will just work out. The following 3 months are pretty tough. There's not a lot of traffic on our website. Sales are drastically lower. We're not sustainable at this point financially if things continue this way. The few months before the launch were so exhausting that we start paying the debt that we had accrued. We were really tired and overworked. Mostly, we're really full of doubts. We really have no idea what we're doing. For anybody in the app business, it's a pretty rough market right now to be in the app business. And I even started to think, is this even a game that can be won? Is there any way we can win this game? Anyway, we go through those 3 hard months, and the summer is actually starting to look better. The product is sort of we fix all the bugs and we add a few additions to people that asked, but it's clear that we really need to push on marketing and PR. And we have some really positive effort with a few communities, primarily illustrators and photographers. They're really receptive to what we're doing. And then in the summer, we launched an iPhone version that is completely free. And while it's not as great as having a large screen and all the sort of powerful tools of the iPad, it allows everybody to sort of try our technology and believe that it actually can work for them. And then in September, this happens. See, all along, the major problem for Astropad was we really didn't have a decent stylus to pair up. We had partnered with different stylus manufacturers, but realistically, it was the stylus that were out on the market were not really appealing to the super high-end professionals. And here I'm talking about Disney or Pixar grade artists, which were like our targets. So the iPad Pro and Apple Pencil really changed drastically the market condition we were in. We went from having the worst stylus to having the best stylus on the market. And overnight, the first demo that came out on YouTube were showing our Astropad plus Apple Pencil next to a Wacom Cintiq, which is sort of top of the line of graphic tablets. And we were basically there. We were exactly comparable to more than $1,000 equipment. So what happens with the sales? Well, it goes really well. We're basically experiencing a significant growth since then. We have a really compelling product. We've been contacted by Hollywood studios. We always pushed really hard on the technology, and we knew that we had a really strong foundation, but we were missing the pieces that would make the product really shine through. And now we do. So since then, we have expanded our team. We're now a 5-people team, and we're going strong. This summer we'll be releasing a version 2 of Astropad, and I hope you can all give it a try. So let's talk about something serious now, the answer that you'll all be looking for. Is it more important to be lucky than good in life, or in this case, in business? I'm actually not really sure. I think we were both lucky and good at the same time. There's a tremendous amount of work that went into Astropad. It's a tremendous amount of luck that also happened to allow us to be where we are. So if I were to summarize our story, I think it's a combination of our own creativity and our own skills combined with just luck. That's it for today. So before I take questions, we are actually hiring. So I'm really looking for a video coding and compression engineer. I know this is a designer crowd, but if you know anybody that would like to get into video compression and develop sort of next technology of video codec, please let me know. And then this might be more familiar to you guys, but we want to hire a UI UX designer for specifically working on iOS and Mac, and we have both platforms going, so should be a fun gig.
No, my question is, I know there's other industries that have this same latency problem. If you've ever shopped for wireless speakers, you know the market's not good. Mm-hmm. Are you guys looking at other applications for the, you seem to solve that nut. Are you reaching in anywhere else?
Yeah, well, we're really passionate about the sort of creative crowds and digital art, and that's where I would like to be in for a little bit of time. The way we solve the problem is really by minimizing the variety of technologies that usually are involved in having two devices communicate with. So I'm talking about, we're only focusing right now on Apple products. And we can control all that variability somewhat well, and it's already hard with a very sort of simple ecosystem like that. So getting into outer space would require a significant investment in analyzing what's, all the technology and all the possibilities out there. So not at this time.
I know that you guys got some like bad, when you had like some bad moments and bad months. What made you like keep on believing and keep on like
going?
Yeah.
We're really passionate about the creative crowds. I think we really did believe in that mission of creating professional tools. I'm personally very disappointed where iPhone and iPad are going. I think it's a waste of human resources that I think we're seeing. And I was trying to change that, for some people at least.
You talked about how you decided that you needed a new format for the video encoding. Mm-hmm. Like that wasn't something that was available, like the technology needed to be invented in a way.
Right.
How do you decide that that's a task? Because that needed to happen in order for you to see the vision of your product continue. How do you know like that big roadblock is something worth tackling? Mm-hmm. And can you tell us a little bit about how you navigated it?
Yeah, it was actually pretty easy because most of the video technology that you can think of, they're designed to basically play YouTube videos. So they don't really have the time constraints that we're facing when we're trying to stream something within a very short time span. And if you pause a video on YouTube, you'll see that artifact that is shining through. Because what video compression does most of the time is try to capture movement. That's what they want to do. They're not trying to get pixel perfection. But we wanted to capture pixel perfection. And movement is not so fundamental. In fact, we still are fighting hard on animation and things that are playing through Astropad. If you use the product, you'll see when a large change happens on the screen, we pixelate we can't really like provide high definition content. So we give you just a preview of what's going to happen. And then eventually, as the sort of screen settles, you see sort of the pixel perfect content through. That's why we gave it the name Liquid, because it's sort of this progressive rendering engine that we have, specifically designed for artists. I didn't want to compromise on quality, and Matt didn't want to compromise on speed. So we managed to actually achieve both. But I was really driven by actually a different sort of negative user experience I had with Apple Maps when they released that product. And the first time I used it, it took me to 3 blocks away from where I was going. And this is San Francisco. I was riding my bike, and it was I rode on top of the hill, and I didn't need to do it. So from that moment on, I never launched the app again. It completely lost the trust that I had in the product. And I was really afraid that the first artists that would have used Astropad, they would have seen artifacts on the screen when they were doing digital art, and they would have had the same negative experience of looking at the 2 screen and seeing, damn, I was thinking this was red, and instead it's like orange. And I was really afraid of that first really negative experience, because I have not launched Apple Maps since then. And I'm sure they have improved it, but just that was so negative that if we had missed to achieve really high-end quality, I don't think the product would have gone anywhere.
It was very inspiring to see kind of you go through the cycle of launch, kind of hitting that bottom point and coming back up. Right now, I'm actually with my team at the bottom point with same market, honestly, the iPhone. And I like how you say making a bicycle for the mind when you're taking that quote, because that's what we're trying to do too. And it really is a hard market right now. But tell me a bit about how your marketing plan as far as before launch and how that evolved after getting through that hard period.
Marketing plan. Did we have a plan? We did have a plan. When you're launching something like this, and it was the first time that we were doing it, we really had no idea what we were doing. We were trying to read, I think there was a PR, it's a famous PR book published by a TechCrunch journalist. I think it's called PR Guide to Tech, or something along those lines. I think that first video that you actually saw of 2 months before the launch was actually not only an attempt to convince the beta user to try it, but it was a way to frame our message so that it would have been appealing to a larger crowd. So as much as we were iterating on the product, early on we were also iterating on the marketing message that we would hit the market with. I don't think we had a plan, to be honest, a very concise plan. We were just trying to ship this thing as fast as possible. At the time when we were launching the product, we were still consulting. So we have 2 jobs. And the contracting job is sort of a regular job. And building the startup, it's 2x type of an effort from that. Yeah, we're just trying the best that we can. But I think the experience of Matt and myself, having worked on consumer product for the past 15 years, really went through in everything that we did in those 2 months. I think we applied all the things that we've learned along the way. Sorry, I can't have a better answer to that. Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you very much.